Did you know? In earlier versions of Donkey Kong Country, Cranky Kong was actually a nice old man and not mean-spirited at all. He'd say things like, "Diddy, you young pup, boy, I can't believe how much you've grown," instead of things like, "You wouldn't know a good game if you were in it." Another change is that the first level of the game, Jungle Hijinks, was originally named Jungle Japes. The name Jungle Japes was later used as the name of the first level for Donkey Kong 64. Donkey Kong Country 2 had its fair share of changes as well. It was originally going to be a Virtual Boy game. The Virtual Boy version didn't get very far in development, only getting as far as a working title screen. Development shifted to the Super Nintendo when it became clear that the Virtual Boy was a flop. The German version of Donkey Kong Country 2's instruction booklet shows a character named Mr. X, along with some text stating, "No one knows him or has seen him anywhere before." Mr. X can also be seen on the front cover of the game's official German strategy guide and in issue 76 of Nintendo Power. Mr. X never appears in the game, and there are two theories as to why. The first theory is that he was intended to be a boss for the Gloomy Gulch area, but was replaced with Creepy Crow. And the second theory is that he's an unused earlier version of the enemy Cackle, as both have no legs, appear to be undead pirates, and have the same type of sword. The acclaimed Donkey Kong Country track Aquatic Ambience had trouble being implemented and might not have made it into the game. Composer David Wise was experimenting with ways to maximize use of the Super Nintendo's limited amount of RAM when making the track and ran into multiple issues. Wise said that the track was reprogrammed several times over the course of 5 weeks, but that it was ultimately worth the effort. The equally acclaimed Donkey Kong Country 2 track, Sticker Brush Symphony, was almost scrapped as well. The track was originally composed as a follow-up to Aquatic Ambience, but a decision was made to not include any serene water levels like what the first Donkey Kong Country had. The track was reused for the game's Bramble levels, and according to Wise, it seemed to fit and was a good juxtaposition to the difficulty in negotiating through such a hard stage of the game. During development of Donkey Kong 64, the team at Rare encountered a game-breaking bug. The game would randomly crash if played on a standard N64, but for whatever reason, the game would run correctly if the N64's RAM expansion pack was plugged in. Rare couldn't find a way to remove the bug and made the decision to ship a free RAM expansion pack with every copy of the game. This was the only way they could stop the glitch, and according to developer Chris Marlowe, it ended up costing them a fortune. There are also several changes during Donkey Kong 64's development. One of the changes is that the Kong's weapons were originally real guns, opposed to the comical fruit and nut-based weaponry seen in the final game. It's thought these changes were made to avoid controversy and ensure the game received a child-friendly rating. Early screenshots of the game also show that Donkey Kong's treehouse originally had a shower stall in it with a poster of Banjo and Kazooie on the side. Interestingly, Donkey Kong appeared on a picture in Banjo's house in the beta build of Banjo-Kazooie, but was replaced in the final version with an image of Banjo's sister, Tootie. Banjo-Kazooie and DK64 have more connections. The text Ice Key can be found in DK64's ROM. The Ice Key was one of Banjo-Kazooie's stop and swap items. This could mean Rare had plans of using the feature for Donkey Kong 64 as well as the Banjo-Kazooie games. The Donkey Kong 64 level Fungi Forest was originally planned as a level in Banjo-Kazooie. The level used to have the slightly different name Fungus Forest and wasn't implemented in Banjo-Kazooie because of time constraints. The level was finished and put into DK64 along with the level's original background music. The background music for DK Island also came from Banjo-Kazooie's beta, and the track was originally titled Lost. Part of the game's famous DK rap was later censored, a line of the song that refers to Chunky Kong saying, "But this Kong's one hell of a guy." The word hell was replaced with heck in later versions of the rap. One last piece of audio trivia for DK64 is that the game's composer, Grant Kirkhope, provided the voice of Donkey Kong. Nintendo have since reused the samples of Grant's voice in Mario Golf Toadstool Tour, Mario Kart Double Dash, Mario vs. Donkey Kong, the Game Boy Advance versions of Donkey Kong Country, and even an E3 demo version of Donkey Kong Jungle Beat. There's also a track in a Killer Instinct arcade promotional video that sounds almost identical to the track for Funky's Flight in Donkey Kong Country. Since the two games were developed around the same time, this either means that Killer Instinct borrowed the track from Donkey Kong Country, or that the track was originally intended for Killer Instinct. Diddy Kong Racing wasn't originally a game about Diddy Kong. It was a game called Pro-Am 64. A demo of the game was presented to Shigeru Miyamoto, and he suggested that Diddy should become the mascot of the game. The opposite happened with Banjo Pilot, as it actually started off as a Diddy Kong game called Diddy Kong Pilot. It was reworked during development as Rare were acquired by Microsoft and no longer had the rights to use Nintendo characters. Early versions of the game even had playable Mario characters like Mario, Peach, Yoshi, Wario, Bowser, and Toad. The characters were removed in later versions and only Donkey Kong characters were playable. Rare had plans of including a character named Redneck Kong, but he was replaced with Candy. This was likely done to avoid controversy. That's all for today, but don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Make sure you also check out DidYouKnowGaming.com, where we post gaming trivia every single day. If you like this video, check out our other videos. And if you like my voice, go watch my Let's Play training video. It's sarcastic and has made a lot of people angry, so that's a good reason to go watch it.